name is Eric the Tender, and I want to welcome you to the first edition of the Amazing Dog Training Man live TV show. You can see I have my little puppy Martini here. And I want to explain real quick why I decided to do this TV show. I decided to do this TV show after I started becoming real popular on the internet. What was happening is that I'm getting so many questions asked of me through email, Facebook, Twitter, on YouTube, that I decided to do this TV show. And what I'm going to do on this TV show is I'm going to talk about common behavior problems that a lot of people experience with their dogs and their puppies. And then what I'm also going to do in this show is answer some questions. So make sure if you have some questions, write them down, and I'll let you know how to get them to me at the end of the show. Today, what I wanted to talk about is one of the questions that I get almost on a daily basis, and that is biting. I'm not talking about aggression. I'm not talking about dogs that, you know, you're walking down the street, he comes running to the yard and bites you, or if he's guarding a bone, or you get too close to the dog's food and they start growling at you. That's aggression. What I want to talk about today is biting, especially with puppies. A lot of people get puppies and their puppies are constantly chewing on them. And they get very, very frustrated with the puppy. And what happens is that a lot of times the relationship, when it's just beginning, it kind of starts to deteriorate because we get so frustrated with the puppy biting our hands, biting the kids, grabbing the kids' clothes, that it kind of sets the tone, and then things just become more and more difficult. So we're going to talk about biting when it comes to puppies. But the first thing I want you to understand is that biting, puppy biting, is classified as a behavior problem. If you open up a book on dog training, you'll see behavior problems, puppy biting. If you go on the internet, behavior problem, puppy biting. And I want you to understand that your puppy biting you is not a behavior problem. It's not. It's really a human problem. You see, what you have to understand about biting and mouthy behavior is that it's normal, natural canine behavior. Most of the things that our dogs do that are classified as behavior problems aren't really behavior problems. Okay? If your dog pees, is that a behavior problem? If he pees on your carpet, it's really a location problem. So what we have to do is we have to look at behavior problems a little differently. We have to understand that it's normal, natural canine behavior. And then what we have to do is we have to teach the dog that it's unacceptable behavior. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just unacceptable. It's okay if they chew on their bone or stick or a toy, but we just don't want them chewing on us. In fact, if you watch two puppies play together, you'll see that all they do is chomp on each other. Okay? That's how they interact. That's how they explore their worlds. And it's actually healthy for a dog to be mouthy. They have a physical and psychological need to use that little jaw of theirs. So you need to provide some outlets. I think I'm boring her. Hopefully I'm not boring you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the biting. There's two types of reinforcement. There's intentional reinforcement, unintentional reinforcement. And usually when it comes to puppies biting, we use both forms of reinforcement. Okay? So, intentional reinforcement is, say the puppy was biting us, and I've seen this happen, the dog's chewing on the person's hand, they're going, oh good puppy, yeah, and then they smack him around a little bit, and the puppy bites a little bit more, and they smack him a little bit more, and the puppy bites more, and they go, good dog, good dog. I actually was teaching a class once, husband and wife, sitting in the corner. I'm watching them for a whole hour. The whole hour, the husband's going like this, smacking the dog's head back and forth. Guess what the dog's doing? He's trying to chomp the hands. All day, the whole class, the husband's doing this. At the end of the hour, husband and wife come up to me and guess what they ask? How can we stop our puppy from biting us? All he does is chomp on our hands and our kids and our legs and all that stuff. They said, yeah, because you're encouraging it. You are reinforcing the behavior, okay? So there's intentional reinforcement. There's also something, and this is where puppy biting becomes a real behavior problem, is because of unintentional reinforcement. A lot of times we're trying to stop a behavior, but what we're doing is actually reinforcing the behavior, making the behavior worse. So, a lot of people recommend that if your puppy's getting mouthy, to give him a little smack on the head, to stick your finger down the throat, give him a whack underneath the chops, to scruff shake them, to grab them and flip them over on their back. All these types of techniques that really don't work. And that's why I get so many emails and phone calls. How do I stop my puppy from biting? Please. So, what I want you to do, what I want you to understand is that if you want the behavior to stop, you have to stop reinforcing it intentionally and unintentionally. And the easiest, simplest thing to do is to separate yourself from your puppy when they start to get mouthy. That's the easiest thing to do. You can also substitute. Puppy starts biting, you can give him a toy. Puppy starts biting, you can play tug. Puppy starts biting, you can throw a ball. Sometimes they're not interested in that. Sometimes they go, oh, okay, a ball. But you know what? I don't want to chase the ball. I want to chew on your hands right now. That's when you want to stop paying any attention. I know what a lot of you are thinking. Fine, Eric, so I'm sitting there with my arms crossed. I'm ignoring the dog's still chewing on my shirt and my legs. So what you have to do is sometimes step in and use what's called a back tie. And I'm going to show you right now how a back tie is used. So watch this. Okay, so you can see that I have my nice old German Shepherd. I got him back tied to show you an example of what this means. And you can do this with puppies. And this is just a real simple technique to separate yourself from your dog when they start to get real mouthy. The great thing about a back tie is if I'm petting the puppy and the puppy starts to bite me, all I have to do is step away. Now, the puppy's in the room with me, but they're restricted. They don't have access to me. And then what I would do is after the puppy starts to calm down, I would give him some toys and things like that. I would go back in and I would test the puppy. I would say, hi puppy. And if they started getting chompy, I take my hand away. If I can reach in and pet and they don't chomp me, then I give them their freedom. I let the dog or the puppy off leash. That's a very simple way to deal with biting problems. So that's a very, very simple way to deal with your dog's biting behavior. You just want to make sure you're not giving any intentional reinforcement or unintentional reinforcement. By using a back tie, you can separate yourself from the dog, but you're still in the room with them. You wait for the right behavior and you reinforce it by giving the dog or the puppy his freedom back. This way your dog will learn, hey, look at this. If I start chomping on my owner, my freedom gets restricted. Once I'm calm and I'm not jumping and biting, I get my freedom back. Pretty easy, right? Okay, good. So now what I want to do is I want to answer a question that came in from YouTube. Okay, this question I got through YouTube, and the question is, what do I use to clean up after my dog has an accident in the house? Okay, this is a great question. I picked this one out because I get it a lot, but it's also very important for you to understand this. When your dog pees in the house, you want to make sure that you're cleaning it with a product that does not have ammonia. A lot of the products that you get at the supermarket or at the grocery store have ammonia. You have to look at the bottle and see if there's ammonia as one of the ingredients to clean up the urine. The reason you don't want to use ammonia is because ammonia smells like urine to your dog. So your dog pees right here, you go over and you clean it, and you wipe it up. Even though you wipe it up, that scent is still there. Your dog comes by, sniffs it. Hey, look at this. Some weird dog peed here. So what do? They pee on top of it. So you have to be very careful about using products that have ammonia to clean up after your dog after they pee in the house or poop. Okay, so the best thing is to use products that have natural enzymes that break down the scent. And there's all kinds of good stuff on the internet and at pet stores that you can get to use when you have a house training accident. Okay, so I hope this training show has helped you out. If you have any questions, remember, I can't answer every question, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to see which ones are coming up the most popular questions, and I will answer them. So just email your questions to Eric@AmazingDogTrainingMan.com. Eric@AmazingDogTrainingMan.com. Make sure in the subject line you put question for TV show. Okay? Those are the ones that I'm going to be able to look at, and I'll be able to answer them. Don't forget, next week, chewing. Big problem for a lot of dog owners. So stay tuned to the Amazing Dog Training Man TV show. Thanks for watching. Have a great day with your best friend.